Hello Capricorn, welcome to my channel. Thank you for coming back if you're a subscriber, but if you're new to the channel, thank you for joining me and welcome. I hope you enjoy the insights here. This is a general reading. So now in the first house we have Neptune sacrifice. So the first house is everything to do with the self, your body, your vitality, and your self-oriented interests. It's also what you project to other people, what they see when they see you. So that's your personality and your characteristics. It's also how you are making your way in the world. You know, how you project yourself and how you move through the world in your daily life. So now with Neptune sacrifice coming in, this can be affecting you in a number of ways. It depends where you are in your life and so on. But with the sacrifice coming in there, it's usually sacrifice for the greater good. So you may be, sacrificing certain things for certain things that you may be wanting to do, or you are, perhaps starting a new gym regime. So your physical body requires care and attention, and you're perhaps doing without the late night socializing, and you're watching your diet, something like that. It could be that. It could also just be to do with your actual yourself, your actual appearance, and so on. You may be cutting back on a few things because you have other demands on your time or your money or your resources, and so on. It could also be that, you are sort of a number of sides to this card. So it could also be that you are venturing into the unknown in some way, because the Neptune largely does represent the unknown. It could also be that you are becoming more imaginative, or sort of enjoying mystical studies, or you're dreaming a lot, or you've got dreams and visions which you are receiving at this time. It could also be that you are enjoying, as I said, imaginative thoughts and sort of emotions, but it could also be fantasy, enchantment. There's various ways that this can come down for you. It could also just be divine inspiration as well. So you may be coming across like that to others. You may be coming across as dreamy or imaginative, or it's yourself going through that phase. The other side of that is also perhaps because there's a veil involved when Neptune comes around. So this could be illusion of some kind. So you could be suffering from some kind of illusion, or under the illusion of something. You could be feeling slightly confused about something, or you may be going through some kind of escapist tendencies, which is escapism into addictions, or just all different types of distractions. Even victim consciousness can come in, self-sabotage. There's lots of different ways that this can manifest. On a more practical level, it can also be that you are sort of enjoying perhaps self-expression, or just enjoying the world of film, art, poetry, music, and you could even be looking fairly glamorous, or going into environments which are glamorous by nature, because all of those things are ruled by Neptune as well. Then in the second house we have Cancer, I feel. Your second house is to do with your money and your income. It's also to do with your possessions, what you own, property, real estate, and it's also to do with your self-worth and your value system, what you value yourself and in yourself, and also what you value in your surroundings and in other people. So with this coming in, you need to follow your gut feelings and your instincts when it comes to your money, perhaps how you're going to use it, where's the best place to put it, and so on. Also, your finances, your money that's coming in could be going through cycles and fluctuations of all different types. Perhaps it's to do with your career, or the work that you do. Perhaps you are busy some months and not others, and so on. You could also be looking back instead of forward at certain things, so lingering in the past, which you will need to address as well. It's fine to look at the past to learn from it, but ultimately you do need to move forward, and perhaps there are some just decisions that you need to make in some way. You could also be quite emotional at this time because the moon rules Cancer, and that is, highly emotional. You probably need to cultivate some resilience at this time and use your imagination. This could be, as I said, to do with perhaps with something you want to acquire, or it could be to do with property, or it could be, handling your money in an imaginative way. It could also be to do with some kind of investment. The moon rules investments of all kinds, stock exchange and so on. You may also find that you have family or domestic issues which may need attention at this time. So that affects your income, your money, but it also affects your self-worth and your value systems. Perhaps there are things in your home or just some domestic issues that are requiring attention. Perhaps they need an investment of some sort or some kind of reorganization. There could be a female influence involved as well, or women's issues coming up. So now, one thing that's quite a common theme in your chart at this time is women's issues, transformation, and birthing of all kinds. So the themes of birthing is quite prevalent in all areas, actually. And if you are birthing, whether it's a business or you are birthing a child or any kind of birthing, it does affect a great many areas of your chart, and you'll see as we progress that this comes up again and again and again. And with Cancer, I feel this is the card of cycles of the moon, family, birthing, children. There's lots of aspects that come in, and women's issues. So that may very, very well be coming into your life in some way or some form. Then in the third house, we have yet another moon influence, the lunar eclipse change. Your third house is to do with your communication, how you communicate, and your local environment as well. So it's also to do with your communications, all forms. This can be written, verbal, body language. It also rules documents and contracts of all kinds. So this third house also rules your neighbors, your siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, those kinds of family members, your neighborhood. And it really also covers learning, and it can also cover short trips of all kinds as well. This is local trips. So now with lunar eclipse change coming in, how I feel this is a feeling, how is this feeling for you, is you could be, at this time, you could be letting go of old habits or self-expression. And when you do that, a new perception or a new outlook comes in. It's also perhaps the way you communicate with those various family members or your neighbors. But there's changes going on. There's changes coming in. Now, they can be abrupt. It could be a really abrupt change, or it could be something that's bubbling over. So something that was already there and you just didn't deal with it, or you couldn't deal with it. You were aware of it, but it wasn't a priority for you. Well, it's going to come out now. So something comes to the light, or it bubbles over, or there's an abrupt change of some sort. It could be, as I said, it could be something that you're aware of, but the speed of it and the shift is unexpected. But it's a necessary change that has to come in. And it could also be, as documents and contracts are covered by the third house, it could be a change of home or a change in the home, but it could be a contract to do with a new home as well. There's a feminine influence in here as well, which is coming up again. This is a repeated theme as well. Feminine or female influence. And it also, with this, whatever change that's coming in for you, once the change comes in for you, it can unfold over a 6-week to a 6-month period. So over that, once that initial shift has happened and you now have to deal with it, then it comes in. But it's shifts and cycles, changes going on with that. Memories can also come in very strongly for you. So you're thinking about the past, as I said, something is bringing in a new perception or a new outlook, or there's some kind of shift, and this is going to change the way you express yourself and the way you are, your habits, because the moon rules your habits as well. Then in the 4th house, we have Pluto transformation. So now, if you are starting a new family or you are involved with birthing something of some kind, your home life may change quite dramatically. We've already covered that. It's going to come up again later. Or it could be a business from home, who knows? But however it applies for you, you can bring it in. The 4th house is all to do with your home. It's your actual physical home. It's also the environment in the home, the people in your home, the atmosphere in your home. It's also your relation to your family, your roots, your foundation, your ancestral connections, your ethnic identity. So that all comes in as well. And Pluto transformation is a very powerful card. It literally does do that. It brings in transformation, but it mostly rules birth, sex, and death, and that is symbolic death. So something falls away to make way for something new. So you could be renovating, you could be relocating, you could be transforming where you currently live to make it better or to improve it in some way. It's making something new from old, something old. Something also could emerge from something old as well. So something has fallen away, it's died off, and now something new is coming out of that. It could also be that something is coming to the surface because Pluto rules the underworld, and anything that is underneath will come up during a Pluto influence. So if you are dealing with a home, but perhaps you're relocating, you're buying a new home, or you are renovating or upgrading your current home, you need to just have a look at the foundations, the sewers, the water systems, and all of that, because something may come up to do with that as well. So have a good look at that and just assure yourself that everything is as it should be. Also be careful with finances and taxes because those are also indicated under the Pluto influence. So it generally is a transformation of some sort, but those other issues can come in as well with this card. Then in the 5th house, we have Taurus, I have. So now the 5th house covers children, whether they're yours or somebody else's, but it's your, your association with them in some way. If you don't have children, then it can also cover creativity. So these are all your creative projects, or it could just be your own personal creativity in everything that you do, which is not necessarily artistic abilities. This is creativity, and it can manifest in 100 different ways. You can be creative with figures, you can be creative with the way you dress, or the way you do your children's parties, or the way you speak. There's lots of ways that you can bring creativity in. The 5th house also covers love affairs, and it covers recreational activities of all kinds. So whether that's fun loving activities, or just general fun activities, but it implies outdoors and also clubs of all kinds. Sports come in with this as well. And also a little bit of risk-taking may come in as well. Some kind of risky undertaking, sort of like gambling is a recreational activity. So now with Taurus, I have coming in, this is a very stabilizing influence. So it's a very nice influence to have. It brings in things like home comforts, stability, practicality. It's also about accumulating funds and accumulating possessions. So that can be applied, to your relationship with your children. It can apply to a creative endeavor that you're busy with, or the way you are using your creativity. It can also come in as having a very sensual relationship with your lover. So this could, as I said, it covers a love affair. So it could be a very sensual relationship coming in for you there. Also with this card, the arts are indicated. So that's music, singing, plays, concerts, ballet, all kinds of activities. So this could be a recreational activity that you're either taking part in, or your children are taking part in, or you are enjoying these activities. Perhaps you're going out with a group of friends. But it's fun and recreational activities coming in, and Taurus brings in all of those artistic things. But it's a very positive, very supportive energy coming in for you in your 5th house. Then in the 6th house, we have Uranus Genius. 6th house is your house of work, your work colleagues, your workplace, and your work projects that you're busy with. So even if you don't work in an office of any kind, you work on your own, it covers your work projects, whatever you're doing. It also covers mastery of your craft, whatever's your speciality. This house also covers your health and your diet, and it's also the house of pets. So now, with this card coming in, you can apply it in whichever way works for you. But the Uranus Genius side of things coming in is, Uranus is a very unpredictable planet. It can be very erratic. So what it's coming in is, it's like a lightning strike that comes in, which can cause an upheaval. But it can also be about waking up to something, waking up or realizing something. It's a sudden thing. It's a sudden realization or an idea that you might get. You could have a shock or a shake-up of some kind, or just a surprise. There's something unexpected about it. As I said, it has an erratic energy, so things could be up and down. You never know what's going to go on. There's also a very unconventional aspect that comes in with Uranus. So whatever's going on in any one of those areas, it could be unconventional, something you're trying. This card can also bring in liberation of some sort. So that's liberating you from something which perhaps has been difficult. And that may be very quick and very sudden that comes in. Or it could just be you realizing something and moving on. It can also bring a bit of rebellion in as well, like restlessness and craving of moving on from where you are, or just breaking free. This card can also bring in people who are very, very different from you. They've got a different background, different sexuality, or they're just different. They've got different points of view. They think differently. So you could be coming into contact with them in your workplace. They can be quite bohemian as well. Or it could be cutting-edge people. These are very technologically advanced people, because Uranus brings that in as well. So Uranus is all about the future and futuristic tech. So if that's not your bag, then it could just be an upgrade of your current technology that you're using, whether it's a camera or a cell phone. Any kind of tech upgrade comes in with this card. This card is also, because it's genius that comes in, it can also be the card of invention and very original work or ideas. Or you could just be very original in who you are, in your self-expression. When it comes to health and diet, I feel that possibly you could be needing to make some kind of really quite drastic change in lifestyle, or it could just be a need and a want that you want to do, and you're bringing in a change of lifestyle. And you could also be, if there's treatment required for something that you need, you may be going the unconventional route. That may come in for you, but you may have to also do research, because that also comes in with this card. So all of those aspects could be coming in for you, but it really does bring in change, this card. It's quick, sudden change.